Good morning and welcome to Better Thyself segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. We have been brought up in a strange manner. Our elders come up with the sayings and the proverbs that apparently they deem to be the pearls of wisdom. In reality, these sayings are negative, depressing, and absolutely suitable for going downhill. One of the famous ones is hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. Can anything be worse than that? This one sentence has a great potential for causing harm, making you a depressive maniac, a fit case for neurosis, and yet we use it. There are hundreds of such sayings, but I am taking this one in detail today to show you that apparently, according to our elders, according to the teachers, it is optimism. Really, it's not. And I have several objections to this saying. For example, I'm not concerned about the word worst. Usually, people are not confident at the start of a project. They never are. There's always certain hesitation. And there's always a sense of insecurity. The future is uncertain. Who knows what will happen? There's a mindset. And at such a state in life, the impact of the word worst can be a great stabilizer, destabilizer. It destabilizes you, makes you think negatively. And thoughts are the most powerful element. Realize the power of thoughts. That's what I wrote today in my of the day. In any situation, you can think of success as an excuse, but never both. Winning mindsets always think positive. And the moment you say be prepared for the worst, the word worst with this connotation doesn't make your mindset winning. Adversities inspire people to come out with better efforts. Imagine, and this lesson I learned from a beggar. I was walking down the street one day and I met a beggar and he had written, I want pudding in alarms. He was begging not for bread, not for anything but for pudding. I was amused and intrigued. And I asked him, you don't even have food to eat. What are you looking for? Sweets, desserts? And he replied very clearly, very cogently, I'm not sure what I'll get to eat today. Nevertheless, was the harm in asking for something more than expected and assumed? And then I realized what a powerful thought. And I'm sure that many people carry such hardwired confidence. They succeed even in adverse circumstances, the most adverse circumstances. As I said, winning thoughts create winners. And be prepared for the worst is not a winning thought. To be a winner, think like one. All you need to do is to program your subconscious and program it into a winning mindset. Let's take the example of a person called X. You can call him Joe, you can call him Jane, you can call him Doe, you can call Rebecca, Rajesh, whatever you want to call it. And that person is appearing for a crucial job interview. The fact that the person is scouting for a job indicates a sense of desperation. With a great mental ecosystem, the person meets someone whom they trust heavily, say a parent. Well, Dad, I'm going for a job. And when the person leaves the home, for the purpose of attending the interviews, the father says, my child, do hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. What a depressing thought. Worst was the last word uttered by the interviewee's dad. The word comes with an ultimate negative consequence as well. Ultimate. And what happens? The guy going for interview keeps brooding over the word worst and thinking what would be the worst consequences. Throughout the journey to the interview venue, the commute, the word worst keeps on haunting. Whether you accept it or not, the fact is that such words, you may not think of them all the time, but it goes in your subconscious and you think, wow, I have to be prepared for the worst. The worst can be they can kick me out. The worst can be they can make fun of me. The worst can be they can blacklist me. The worst can be they can write to other companies and their friends and make a joke of me. What will happen? So subconsciously, the person starts preparing himself for failure. And this is failure prone, and the performance is failure prone. He is lost the confidence. He is not sure what's going to happen. And I agree that the candidate's father may have used the word with a very positive intent. But as I always say, way to the hell is paved with good intentions. The poor dad did not know that what he had learned from his father and he had learned from his father was not pertinent. They were a legacy of that time when the people could not imagine the problems of today. He wanted his child to be prepared to accept a setback. What if he fails in the interview? In that event, the child must not get disappointed and discouraged. So, to prevent that discouragement, he told him to, or her to, be prepared for the worst. Parents and the well-wishers generally have very pious intentions, but unintentionally, their words have devastating consequences for their loved ones. If I were to be given the right, the above referred proverb, be prepared for worst, I would rephrase it. I would say, hope for the best and be prepared for the next, not the worst. Now, you would ask, how would a simple change of the word worst into next effect? This would transform the mindset of a person. The moment you replace worst with the next, the communication essence of the saying gets a new dimension. In the new context, using word next, you are suggesting to the person to keep the momentum. The word worst indicated a dead end to the process. After you have met the worst, what else is left? But usage of the word next prepares to accept the consequences without in any way denting the self-respect. Now let's take another example. Suppose a class 12 student is to appear for a board examination. He may or may not have prepared for the examination as per your thoughts or for that particular subject. So when the student leaves for the school, the mom blesses him and says, hope for the best and be prepared for the not worst, be prepared for the next. The moment she says next, the child, he or she, thinks of the word next in a different way. He gets an idea to accept the performance and as such the result thereof. And the rest starts focusing on preparation for the next subsequent examination. The next can be he qualifies and gets into admission. The next can be he fails and appears. But it's not the worst. It's not the end of the world. The word worst is the end of the world. The word next is any option, and there are multiple options. You can accept and select. You see, our words change our world. The whole universe is dependent on the words. And misuse of the words can either devastate us or elevate us. And then this example which I said, hope for the best and be prepared for the worst, is just one of the examples. So, don't be prepared for the worst. No, be prepared for the next. What you need is that for your children, for your friends, when you come across such phrases, such sayings, such proverbs, amend them. As a matter of fact, amend them right now. As a matter of fact, I identified some saying while I was thinking about it yesterday. And then I found I am not happy with those proverbs, with those statements. And then I thought, why not amend them? Here it is. First one which I identified, to be truly positive in the eyes of someone, you have to risk appearing negative in the eyes of the other. This is a proverb now we say, if you want to be good in somebody will also say you bad. No, it's not done. Why start with the acceptance being treated negatively by some? You're already assuming that some people are to be negative. Another common statement is, well, you cannot be good to all. Why not? What's the barrier to being good to all? Another one, man proposes, God disposes, the most popular one and most misused one. Because this spreads depression and disappointment. The God, if he is loving and merciful, why should he dispose of? But man proposes. The fault is not of God, but of you people, who think that the God is meant to punish you, to spoil your programs, to be a wet blanket. No. Then another one. It's not what you say, but what you hide that is important. Isn't this an encouragement to the people to hide more? And then another one which comes. Fortune favors the brave. You already assume that if you are not very brave, you will not be fortune. As a matter of fact, fortune can be friends with anyone and everyone. Why we bring fortune only for the brave? And then the most stupid one. Wow, and the most used one. Teachers use it, parents use it, siblings use it, friends use it. And that is, practice makes a man perfect. They forget, it's not practice. You can be practicing wrong. Perfection needs focus. Perfection needs energy. Perfection needs system and a consistent repetition. That's perfection. Not just mindless practice. So another citadel of wisdom broken. Then another one. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Why don't we realize that which doesn't kill us can make us timid as well, cowards? We can think, well, if this thing happens, what shall happen to me next time? I may be a bigger failure. I might suffer more. So you become more timid. You become a coward. And then one more, which I find to be nauseating. You only live once. What nonsense? Reality is, you die only once. But you live every moment before that. You live every day. You live every hour. You live every minute. You live every second. You don't live only once. You live millions and billions of seconds. And a man who originated, you only live once, didn't know what living is. But then, yes, you die only once. That I can accept. But that you live only once is most unacceptable. Abominable sin, and yet we hear it. So, friends, if you want to be a better human being, if you want to belong to that class of human beings who stand apart, an excellent specimen of Homo sapiens, then hope for the best and be prepared for the next, not the worst. Avoid all such thoughts which can be negative, which can be depressing, which have connotations which are not the best. We can choose the proverbs. Amend them if need is there. But don't follow such sayings and proverbs blindly, stupidly, like mindless ants. They would be a burden for you. Get rid of that burden and be a better human being and thus better thyself. Thank you.